That was a bad day yesterday. That was a really, really bad day yesterday. For a lot of reasons. And we're going to talk about the fans booing. We're going to hear from Myles, Garrett. The one thing that I probably take away more than anything about that game yesterday, you had a decision taken out of your hands. No matter what, that's not good. And I think everybody could have said the decision was already made on Deshaun Watson and you thought he wasn't going to be the guy. They can move on forward. The Browns had their decision made for them yesterday. I don't like those situations. I don't ever like that when it's taken out of your control. It's very clear Deshaun Watson tore his Achilles tendon. It's very obvious that that's probably the last snap he'll ever play for the Cleveland Browns. We'll cheer for that too. Sitting there jumping for joy over that. It's not good. It's not good. And the problem is, as that happened yesterday, you've then got fans on each other again. Now we're blaming Myles Garrett. Now we're blaming the fan base for just a bad situation. For just a horrible situation on the field. It's off the field stuff. We got to talk about all that today. In addition to the Guardians season coming to an end. I've been a part of some bad sports weekends before. Thank goodness Ohio State didn't play Oregon Saturday night. It's a bad weekend, man. It just wasn't good. We got a lot of guards to talk about as well. When is just making the ALCS not going to be enough? And I get that this team, and I can't not be excited and happy about this team of what they did for the regular season, for getting to the playoffs the way they did. But eventually I need more. Eventually I'm going to have to get to some more. We'll get to that coming up. We got some Cavs. Yeah. Turn all our attention to the Cavs. We'll get to that coming up. We got time up, grid, dive back into the bracket this week. And of course, the morning update on like the complete opposite of a Victory Monday. But here we are to talk about it right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Happy to have you alongside. Everybody calm down. The YouTube channel's changing too. All right. So the Instagram, we're consolidating to Big Play Network. YouTube, are we just going to the Big Play channel now, Ryan? Big Play on YouTube. We'll keep the Twitter handle at Matt Fontana Show, though. Appreciate everybody joining us this morning. That's not good. All right. It's not good. And whatever you think of Deshaun Watson, get off your chest. Go ahead, go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't
go
have,
ahead.
I don't have
go
anything
ahead.
to say.
Go ahead.
Matt, I don't have anything to say.
Go ahead. That's
don't
not going to be good for the next 2 hours, so you might as well go ahead. If you got something to get out, if you just want. It's not good, all right? I listen, I don't like Deshaun Watson either, okay? I don't. I'm not going to boo him, all right? That you can't do that. You can't. And I understand that people feel like they have a right to because they don't like him and he's played poorly and he's got off the field problems and you're a fan and I paid my money and I'm allowed to boo as I want and you get a couple of drinks going, you get all lubed up and you're out there, you're throwing the bird at him. All right? Don't do that. It solves nothing. Nothing. All right. They booed him when he was introduced. Sure. Seen that before. Don't boo him when he goes down. There's no point. Why throw that dirt on the grave? It's over. It's over. For a lot of you, you got what you wanted. Now you got to make Myles Garrett stand up there, and now he looks like a jackass. It's not Myles' fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. But now we got to deal with all this. Oh, it's my right to boo for it. Just why? It serves no purpose. Let it go. Just let it go. It's a bad look. That's really not good. You don't boo when the opponent goes down, and I get it. You don't like Deshaun Watson. Just keep it in, man. Just shut up. It's over. You got what you wanted. Yeah, all right. Dude, this sucks. This is not good. I don't understand why people think what happened yesterday was good. It wasn't. I don't have to watch him play quarterback anymore. All right, go watch Dorian Thompson-Robinson then. Jameis Winston is in. You got what you wanted. Congratulations. Good for you. And I'm not trying to sit here and defend Deshaun Watson. I don't like Deshaun Watson either, okay? I don't like him either. I didn't like him the second they traded for him. And I tried to start to think, all right, man, if we could just focus on football and move past all the other stuff. And here we are. It's over. There's no point in you booing a guy when they got to pull the card out for him. Now, I will tell you the other side of it. This was not a neck injury. This was not a guy that you thought might be in a serious issue of being hobbled for the rest of his life or something that he was fighting for his life like Damar Hamlin. It's different, all right? I'm not also going to jump on this thing like he had to get his leg amputated yesterday. He tore his Achilles, okay? Just why? I know why people booed. I understand why people did it. And I'm also on the other side of it, like, LeBron has to send his tweet out. If I'm going to start the way that I'm going to say too, we got to go the other side. You can't act like this is all holy and not. Okay? You can't sit there and act like you don't know why people were booing. All right? So I guess we're just stuck in the middle. All right? I got jokers to the left of me and clowns to the right. Great song, by the way. Amazing song. That's what you got to deal with. So I understand why some drunk people started booing and everybody else started booing at the stadium. And then Myles had to get up there. We'll hear from Myles in a second. LeBron had to send his tweet out. None of this is good. None of this helps the Cleveland Browns franchise. And now we are launched into trying to get a couple of more wins, if you even want that. Get the first overall pick, and I'm all in on Cam Ward now. You better start breaking down Shedeur Sanders tape. Here's where the Browns go from here. He tore his Achilles. We know that. He will start next year on PUP. And everybody goes, we know Aaron Rodgers came back in 77 days. No. He'll start next year on PUP. They might bring him back. They might full season IR him. I don't know, but it's over. And I frankly don't like that the decision was made for you. All right? And you could be screaming that it should have been made and he should have been benched already and the Browns should have never. Well, you want to know what? You can't change any of that. You can't go back and tell Jimmy Haslam not to trade for Deshaun Watson. I think we all would if we could, but you can't. So there's no point in trying to get back any of that. He's owed the money. You're out of those draft picks. Yesterday was not good. Yesterday was not good in any stretch of the imagination. For the average fan that goes, well, I just don't want to watch him play anymore. That was probably coming. But the fact is the Browns had their move called for them. That's usually not a good situation. When somebody else or some force makes a decision for you, that's not good. Because in a way, I had this conversation with somebody yesterday. That cops the Browns out. I was talking with somebody yesterday, and they go, doesn't it feel like this was a cop-out? And again, this is like the Browns towards Achilles tendon. But the person I was talking to, they were making the point, I wanted to see what the Browns were going to do. This was another little litmus test on what the Browns were going to do to handle this situation, and now they've been handed a reprieve. They've been handed, well, there's nothing you can do now. There's nothing you can do now. He's out. It's over. And I understand that some people want to celebrate that because this is one of the darkest stretches of our franchise history. This era will not be forgotten anytime soon. The ramifications of this are going to be felt for years to come as you try to build this team back up and try to turn them back into a winner. But it's over. And if that's something that's going to get you up and get you cheering, then so be it. I can't join you on that. I can't join you on that. I just can't. But then I also got to go to the other side and say for everybody calling out and defending Deshaun Watson, you got to understand why people did that. Was it wrong? To the question, was it wrong for people to cheer? Absolutely. Absolutely, that was wrong. Don't do it for other teams, and you sure as hell don't do it for your own guys. I don't care if you like them or not. You don't do that. Beyond that, you got to understand why people did it. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I don't have anything to say about this. I'll talk about the Browns game.
Talk about the game.
It was horrible.
It was really bad.
It was really bad. The Browns are just dysfunctional. They're garbage. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They're the worst team in the NFL.
It's not good. None of this is good. Like I said, you're not playing well. Everything that happened, I just, dude. It's over. It's over. And I'm trying to hold on to this season. Bruh. And you'll get Jameis Winston in there probably for a little bit. And then get ready for a draft. Like, that's where we're at. That's all that's left. You got the Baltimore Ravens in town this weekend. The Baltimore Ravens. You will be 10-point underdog Sunday. You'll be 10-point. Whatever happens tonight doesn't matter. You're going to be, dude, so bad.
Could be worse.
No, it's pretty bad.
Could be worse.
Well, how so? Nick Chubb scored a touchdown. Thank God he's back. Good, great, awesome. I mean, I cannot join people on this was good. I just can't. This is another just layer to this whole thing. And the other thing, and maybe the bigger issue that people are not understanding, this actually complicates things for the Browns moving forward, does it not? Like, now, what are they going to do? What are they going to do with Deshaun Watson? You were on this path where we were talking about a post-June 1 cut and having to play him next year. Like, that's all out the window. And I guess he could come back and be ready to go for week 1 next year if they still want to play him. But the Haslams, sitting at that game yesterday, heard those boos. Or the cheers, I should say. They heard that. And they know what this franchise, this fan base feels about it. But they got to understand there's no way they can bring him back. And we were saying that before the injury. But I just think now that he tore his Achilles, that can't help. There's no way that helps this situation at all. Maybe you pump it. Maybe you put him on IR next year. I don't know. I'm not saying anybody was going to trade for him either. But there's no way that him tearing his Achilles yesterday helps the Cleveland Browns get out of this mess. That's what I think is maybe lost on some people here. They think that, just because he got hurt, now we can just walk away from this. I'm not yelling at people because I'm not saying that they're stupid, but it's like, what about an injury settlement? You don't know how injury settlements work, do you? You don't know how injury settlements work in the NFL, do you? Now, there is in no world the Browns are getting out of this, and now he's hurt. That's not good. There is in no way that this is good. So I just can't join people in the celebration of today, and at least Deshaun Watson's done, and the witch is dead, and all that kind of stuff.
All right, but let me throw this scenario out at you, okay? And this isn't me taking a side, okay? I don't want to get canceled. Just take Deshaun Watson. Say he's not the Cleveland Browns quarterback, right? He's just a normal guy, right? And let's say what he was alleged to do 26 times was true, okay? Let's say that's true. And he's an average guy. And he's on the news because of what happened off the field. And I
know where you're going. Everybody say that's karma, isn't it? Everybody would sit there and golf, say, there you go.
He's playing
that's
golf,
karma.
He tears his Achilles.
I get where you're going.
Would you be upset for people to be happy that
kind
he
of my
got
whole
injured?
thing, and this applies to not just some guy. This is Deshaun Watson, the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Ryan, it serves no purpose.
And I'm not saying it does.
It serves nothing. It doesn't change anything.
Nobody's saying it does.
It makes us look bad. And if you want the true fallout, now you got people slinging arrows at Myles Garrett. Now, did Myles... Let's just play it. Okay. Play the second cut. Because I'll defend Myles Garrett for a second, all right? He has got a really hard job to do yesterday. He is a face of your franchise. You threw him up at that podium. He speaks after every game because he is one of the faces of the franchise. And he, in addition to Kevin Stefanski, basically have to make a statement on behalf of the Cleveland Browns about, cover the kids' ears, the shit pot situation that we are in at the moment. All right? He is the one that has to stand up there and give this statement. Now, the problem is what he said has people trying to cancel him. Here's one clip from Myles Garrett after the game yesterday talking about Deshaun Watson going down with his injury. Audio courtesy of the Cleveland Browns.
All right, hold on. Which one?
Sorry, this second one I sent you. The second one.
Okay.
Here it comes.
It's the model citizen one, right?
Yeah. I didn't want to say that because I wanted to hear people to see it, but yes, go ahead.
Like I said, no one deserves that, and I hate using the word deserves. I'm usually pretty consistent saying earned. He hadn't earned it, and he doesn't deserve it. No, but man does pretty much everything right. He's been a model citizen through college and most of the pros. He plays the game as hard as anyone I've seen. Puts everything on the line, willing to throw his body out there, and he plays the game at 100 miles per hour. And there's a risk of being injured, and that he took that risk. But we have to be there for him as a team, as an organization. We can't look down on the guy because of any mistakes on the field or anything off the field. We don't have anything. We don't have any more high ground to look down on the guy.
Okay, you could hear him struggling to come up with the right words. And I think the words model citizen was probably a bad idea. All right, that was but like, again, I understand Myles' bad situation that he's in. And he's trying to defend his teammates. He's trying to toe that company line. And his message was, who are we to sling the arrows, right? That's what he's trying to say. I'm not yelling at Myles about that. I want to tell you this. I understand that was a slip, probably bad word usage. That is an impossible situation for him to be in, okay? And the thing is, this encapsulates everything. You are angry, and now you're just going to spew it at everybody. You're angry at Myles. You're angry at the Haslams. You're angry at this, and you're just angry because your football team sucks, and you traded for a guy and gave up all that money and all the draft picks, and he's giving you nothing. And then on top of that, he's a bad person.
I don't think anyone with a brain has anything bad to say about Myles Garrett.
Oh, no, I saw it this morning. That's a problem, again, with social media. And trust me, there are people that deserve to get canceled. There are people that need to be called out for things that they say or beliefs that they have when they are just wrong and they are just horrible people. Myles Garrett is not that. Okay, but it's just, hey, here's an opportunity to jump on somebody. Here's an opportunity to get some clicks and call out Myles Garrett. That's not his problem. That's not his fault. Okay, he had no other option to get up there and try to calm things down. The problem is he stirred it back up. Probably bad word usage of saying model citizen. What he's saying is, I know the guy, but again, let's not forget, the reason that you're all angry at this is because the Haslams brought this guy here. And I said that when they traded for Deshaun Watson. When it all boils down to one thing, there is one person to blame, and that is Deshaun Watson for his actions. He's the only one to blame for his actions. That's it. And he put everybody else in this situation. The Haslams put everybody else in this situation when they went and traded for him. Would it be different if we were 5-2? Getting ready to try to go to the playoffs? Probably.
100%.
Probably. And that's part of sports. But here we are, where now everybody else has got to deal with this. I got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. Myles Garrett's got to deal with it. Kevin Stefanski's got to deal with it. But he ain't a model citizen. He's not. Okay? So, what, again, Myles trying to say, who are we? Well, Myles, I'll tell you what, man. I've never done the things that Deshaun Watson was alleged to have done. That's why we're different. And you want to know what, Myles? Neither of you.
Yeah.
Neither of you.
And I mean...
And I feel bad that he's got to associate himself with this. They have no choice. Now, again, could he have just come out in the press conference and said, I didn't like the booing? He goes, that's a teammate. Nobody deserves that. And I agree with him. And he took it a step further when in reality, I didn't think he needed to. But again, I appreciate him stepping up to try to toe the company line, get the company message out there. I can't be angry at Myles Garrett this morning.
No, I don't.
I'm probably wrong for talking about the people on Twitter. It's not Clevelanders. I don't think Clevelanders are trying to cancel Myles. I really don't. But other people, what a gaffe that was. We're starting to turn on one another. And I've seen this a lot through a lot of Browns season. And Ryan, here we are yet again. We've done this over and over and over again. And this is obviously a little bit different, but you're right back to looking for a quarterback. You know what comes next? The firing of the coach, the veteran guys trying to get out of here. We've all seen this before. And that's kind of the thing. I don't want that loss, that we still have a season to go. And now my sole focus is, how do I turn this around? Not for this year. Yes, this year is done. What am I doing for the future? What can I do for this franchise so I don't have to deal with this for 5 years? Because this is something that sends you into decade-long tailspins. There was nothing redeemable of the 2010s for the Cleveland Browns. Nothing. That was a decade, 10 years of football that gave me nothing. How can I avoid making that in the 2020s too? Now, you're already off to a better start. You made the playoffs a couple of years. Okay, great. What can the Browns at this point do? You're drafting a quarterback. We know that. Get as many picks as you can to draft other players and try to build this back up. But it's like,
I mean, it's going to be a long and difficult road to recover from this.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't necessarily think that it's a tough decision to see what you have to do. You have to, you start with wiping everything about Deshaun Watson off of this football team, and obviously that's probably going to happen.
It's going to happen now,
And I know me and you both want to see Kevin Stefanski survive this. Now, do I think that's going to happen? I'm not sure.
I don't know anymore.
But beyond that, I mean, you have to fire Andrew Berry, right? There's no way around it.
I mean,
Matt, I know we talked about, we defended him. He's this brilliant cap wizard. He obviously is not able to evaluate talent.
I'm not going to say that.
I mean, I will. I will
mean,
say that. There have been so many instances, and I don't want him making that first-round quarterback pick. Why would you?
Okay, there are some guys
please,
that...
and enlighten me. Please enlighten me, because I'm starting to think that even the ones you thought were there, that was a facade.
I'll give you your pound of flesh. Jed Wills is not good. MJ Emerson has been exposed. Greg Newsome doesn't look all that good. Mike Hall finally got on the field. Okay,
Jerry
great.
Jeudy
He started.
good.
Jerry Jeudy at this point. I mean, again, what are you going to do with that? Juan Thornhill injured. What are you going to do about that? You let Joe Flacco leave. Your offensive line is in shambles.
Kareem Hunt's gone. I know he's on the Chiefs, but it's becoming a pattern.
Jeremiah Wusu-Koramo. That's about all I got.
Okay.
That's about all I got.
Broken clock's right twice a day. You have to move on from him. There's no way. He's not good at his job right now.
I mean, but the problem is, can you truly... I mean, I guess you can have that evaluation.
You don't have a choice.
There's your shakeup then. If you're going to fire him, they're going to fire Kevin Stefanski too. I don't want that.
I don't want
it. I don't want Stefanski. And frankly, I don't want Barry fired either. I know you and I are going to differ on that. I get it. Because I just look at it and say the overarching move that sent us off into oblivion, I guess I just say, what else did you want him to do? I guess I'd be able to evaluate him a little bit differently if you had first round picks. I'll sprinkle you one in. You traded for Elijah Moore. He was suspended for the first quarter yesterday. Did you hear that?
I did.
Did you hear that from Kevin Stefanski? You go, where's Elijah Moore? I don't keep that in out. So now you got guys getting suspended. It's a clown show. It's an absolute clown show right now.
It's called karma.
It's the issue with the Cleveland Browns. We're back in it again, man.
Dude, well, what do you expect?
I expected this to not go this way again.
You finally had some resemblance of a functional organization when Kevin Stefanski was here, and you can say all you want about Baker and John Dorsey, but that was the height of your organization since you returned in '99. And what did you do? And listen, believe in karma or not, I mean, it's kind of playing out that way. You were going well. You switched gears completely. You brought in Barry. You fired Dorsey. You gave a sexual predator the richest contract in NFL history. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to see the downfall.
Put our Twitter question up this morning at Matt Fontana Show. Did you have an issue with people cheering for Deshaun Watson being hurt? Did you have an issue with it? I did. I didn't like it. Now, as fans, okay, so here's the other thing about being a fan, right? And I get in these, I don't want to say arguments, but discussions. Like when you see a-holes sitting courtside at WNBA games. By the way, what a game last night. I had the triple box on YouTube. I was watching that, baseball or football. What a game last night. That was awesome. You got a-holes sitting courtside at WNBA games talking things to Caitlin Clark or Sabrina Ionescu and all that. That's a little different. And that's where when people think they pay for a ticket, that they get to walk in there and do whatever they want. No. But also, you're still fans. And I'm not saying you should get thrown out for booing or things like that. That's what's going to happen. That is what's going to happen. So you can't sit there and for the Cleveland Browns and the other tough situation Myles Garrett was put in, you can't sit there and go, oh my God, what did they do that for? Why are they booing or why are they cheering for him being hurt? Why? You know damn well why. You know it and I know it. Bad look? Yeah. Yeah. I guess my whole thing on booing. Do you want to know what it really is? Did you really need to boo to show the franchise that you didn't like this? That's my whole point. Did you really need to get that off your chest that bad to show the franchise you don't like where things are at right now? Do you feel, not you, I'm talking to the people that were doing, do you feel better about it? For the people that got on social media, for the people that are sitting there talking all the smack, do you feel better? Do you? Probably not. All right, you did it. Great. You showed that. You really showed the Haslams. You really showed them by booing for a guy that just went down with an injury. This sucks. I hate this. I really do. I just. You get what you got coming to you, I guess. Let's go right back to your karma. Like, I mean.
Well, I'm getting told that's a lazy intellectual take because we don't have proof he's a predator.
Yeah, right. Okay. Got it. Okay. I am, like everybody, I am so ready to move on from this. And again, he got hurt. It's not good for the organization. I don't know what else to tell you. You can just set this aside now. And I think the sooner the Browns can just come out and figure out a way just to say we're moving on from this whole situation. They're going to fire Stefanski, aren't they?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, what at this point?
Yeah.
Sorry, he'll go have a successful career.
That's the problem. All this has turned into now each week is wondering if you're going to fire your coach. I hope not. I really don't. And people say, oh, the contract this, the contract that. Haslam's have paid out a lot of money to people to not work for them. They've handed out a lot of money to people that have contracts to not work for them anymore. That has nothing to do with it.
Go.
They got to pay for Brook Park first, buddy.
How old's Jimmy?
I don't know.
Like, bro, you're probably taking years off your life owning the Browns. Go sell the team. Go to Cabo or something and just
He's 70.
live the rest of your life.
He's 70.
Like,
He's
just
70.
sell the team, bro.
No, I listen. I see. Again, I can't. I'm not giving up. Like, that's. We need to move. Oh my God, I hate that. Like, it's so.
We're not giving up. I mean.
Oh yeah, we kind of are. We kind of are. That's my problem. Is I need something to just get me moving forward, to get going about the Cleveland Browns.
I'm telling you, you're
okay. Get excited about Jameis Winston.
You're done with Watson. I think that's a positive. I think it's a positive. You're done with Deshaun Watson.
I think you were in that realm anyway. Now, does it happen maybe a little quicker than you thought? Or at least I don't have to see him play football on Sunday? Sure, I got to watch Jameis Winston try to beat the Ravens. No, it's better than Deshaun. It's better than what Deshaun was putting out. And to that point, he wanted Jameis to play anyway. All right, let's put him in. Maybe that's how Kevin Stefanski could save his job. If Deshaun Watson out, Jameis Winston comes in, and you run a competent offense.
That's what I said 4 weeks ago.
I know, and that's what people are calling for. You know, playoffs are done. You ain't making it. But if you can squeak out a couple other wins, but then now what's the problem with that? You're giving up your draft pick. You're not going to have a high pick to be able to go take the quarterback that you want.
But here's the thing. I mean, even if it's Shador, it's Cam Ward, like, when has it ever really worked out for us having the number one overall pick? Like, I don't necessarily think you need the number one overall pick. Like, how many times have we seen it's
sure the best quarterback's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and they didn't go one overall. The best quarterback in this draft was Patrick Mahomes, and he went 15. Like, I get it. Yeah, sure.
History isn't written yet for those two, obviously. But
and there's already people saying, oh, you know, this isn't a great quarterback draft, and it's not like it's going to be all these for sure can't miss guys. All right, well, here we are. That's where we're at right now. And at least you get to see if Jameis can save some of this. But now the other problem is going to be in a couple of weeks when the trade deadline is here, somebody calls for Jameis Winston. Are you willing to part with him for a draft pick?
Yeah, well,
to try to save this season? For me, no. No, absolutely not.
Depends with the draft pick.
Third round.
Yes.
No, can't do it. You got to keep him in there to try to keep this team together. They're ready to break. They are ready. They are fractured. They're angry. They're upset. You can't just run Dorian Thompson-Robinson out there. You did it last year under different terms, I guess. Last year, you had other things cooking, and you had backups that went in there to try to win games. The only saving grace for the Cleveland Browns right now is that Jameis Winston gets in there, and he actually provides a competent offense. That's it. That's the only way to turn this.
Big play, Jameis Winston.
Big plays, Jameis Winston. Go check out our video collab with him. BigPlay.com and our YouTube channel. That's the only job you have right now. It's the only option you have is to put him in there and hope that you can run an offense with him. And I saw some throws, yesterday with the finger injury for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Everybody wants to read into, well, why was he inactive? And then Kevin smoking gun. Well, we had some plays for Dorian Thompson-Robinson, but then he didn't let him run those plays in practice with him. Can I take you down one other step on a conspiracy theory?
I don't know my button.
Damn it!
Well, actually, okay, I'll be fair. I don't know which button this is. Should I hit it?
Yeah, hit it. Not that.
No, that would.
So you don't have it?
No, it's on the other board.
Everybody's wondering why Jameis Winston was the third quarterback and not number 2, right?
Yeah, and I'm
But,
interested. I'll let you talk. I'm just saying I'm really interested to see what you're about to say here because for me, people were like super confused, but to me, it made sense. And I want to hear what you have to say. So
Kevin said that we had plays designed for DTR this week that we identified that we maybe could run, and that superseded the jumbo package of Jameis, sneaking for the first downs. Now, in the game, they ran that full house set where Winston went out and like Jerry Jeudy was like the back guy. So maybe there was some of that. Now, the other thing, Kevin Stefanski admitted that Dorian Thompson-Robinson basically didn't practice with the ones. So you're like, wait a minute, if you have packages for him that you wanted to run the game, why would you not let him practice with the ones? I'm just bringing this up. I know nothing, but Elijah Moore got suspended for the first quarter of the game. Something happened. I'm just saying. Did something happen with both of them? And Elijah Moore got suspended for the first quarter? And Jameis got sent down to 3? I don't know. I'm just bringing it up. Like, when you're wondering why a guy didn't play his normal spot, and I know for basically a fact that somebody else got suspended, I would just sit there and say, well, what happened there?
Well, to me,
am I creating a bridge that's not there? Am I grasping at straws a little bit on that? Do you get what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
You understand what I'm saying? We had a question about what's going on with Jameis Winston, but then you also got a question about what's going on with Elijah Moore. Are those things related? I don't know.
To me, when I read it, I thought, okay, well, people are like, why'd you bring in Jameis Winston and pay him this money if you're just going to make him your third emergency quarterback? Well, that was the plan when we thought we were going to be good, and if something happened to Deshaun Watson, then you had him to step in there to save the season. The season at this point is not savable.
Right.
So they were looking at DTR to see what they have in it, right? And I don't think much. I don't think DTR is the answer by any means.
No, and I think
you had to give him that
like
opportunity to
DTR
go out
a
there
lot.
and at least play a game or two.
I do.
The move seemed to really confuse and upset people, but to me, I thought it made sense.
I mean, and again, we're grasping at the little minority of things here to be worried about. And, like, in the grand, okay, Jameis is now your starter. At this point, you're right. I would not go to DTR. You're putting Jameis Winston in there to try to salvage something here. Because the other thing, you have got to play these games with Winston to try to keep everybody else now sitting there going, get me the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. And they know that there's a long road to go. This is not going to be easy and all that. Yeah, they're well paid and all that kind of stuff. You have got to start winning you got to win a couple of games. And that might sacrifice you for the first overall pick and all that. But just trying to keep this on the rails at this point. The Browns will win again. I don't know when. God, please. They're going to win another game. I don't know when, but they will. And really, slice it this way if you want. If you're the Bengals, do you really feel all that good about a touchdown win over everything that happened yesterday? Probably not. Like, the Browns fought. We'll get to the good, the bad, and the ugly in a little bit. Had some moments, not a lot, but here we are. Here we are. And again, I can't look at this. Dude, I forgot Hard Knocks is coming up too. Oh my God.
Can we get out of that?
Can we please just not do it? Oh my God, I forgot about Hard Knocks. Just do the other 3 teams. I don't want to do it. You get nothing. There's like literally nothing. There's absolutely nothing to get out of that. I don't know why that just launched into my head, though. We got to deal with that. Danny Parkins was he on Fox? We're not going to make Deshaun Watson into a victim here and a martyr like those guys are doing with the actual victims in the story. You know, that's... Well,
I mean...
Well. Here, I'm going to sum up everything with this Watson stuff right here and right now. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. I didn't like the fans booing for him, but I also understand it. And at this point, it is over. I understand the reason to celebrate that. I guess what I just would have liked was for people just to internalize that, see what happened, and don't throw any more dirt on the grave. All right, it's done. Booing gave you nothing. If you needed to really get that off your chest, fine. But I understand why the people... Is it a bad look? Absolutely. Little low class? Yeah, probably. But if there was somebody that deserved it, it was probably him. I'm not happy that he got hurt. I'm not. That's not good. Here we are. Here we are. People feel like they have the right to boo because I paid my money and I'm a fan and I want people to know how I feel about it. We know how you feel about it. We know how we all feel about it. All right? And yeah. Nah, I ain't going there.
Do it.
No.
I'm just curious. I want to hear your thoughts, Matt.
For that specific group of people out there, and you know who they are, stop talking. It's done. For the Leroy Bickerstaffs of the world, shut it down. It's over. All right? And I understand that there were people in this town that still wanted to hold hope, and there were people that were telling us all preseason that this was going to go right and he was going to get turned around. You're done. You're done. It's over. All right? And it's the thing. I guess this is where I differ from everybody else. I am just moving forward. I am just walking away from this. I'm not somebody that's asking for a pound of flesh. It's not something like I would walk. Like, you want to know what? Here's the difference. Maybe between you and me, I don't know. We're sitting at Burke Lakefront Airport. If somehow Deshaun Watson came walking past, he can't walk right now because he has a torn Achilles. If he came walking past, I'm not flipping him the bird. I'm not walking up to him and go, man, you suck, and I'm glad you're out of my town, and go after yourself and all that. He walks by, I'm just walking the other way. Internally, am I going, this went really bad and this sucks? I don't need him to know that. I don't need other people to know how we all feel about it because we all feel the same. Outside of that small group, which is done now, everybody felt the same way. Nobody liked this. Nobody wanted to be in this situation. But here we are. So if he came walking past you right now, he pulls up next to you in traffic, he walks past your cubicle at work, just let him walk on by. Use that as a euphemism or however you want to, metaphor for it. Just let it go. Just let it go. Frankly, I am. Because there serves no purpose of trying to cut this blame here, because we all know who the blame goes to. We all know who the blame goes to, and there's no point bitching about that anymore. It's over. We get to move forward. Just let it go. Let it go. It's done. It's over. Want to do the good, bad, and the ugly?
Yeah, we can do that.
Do you want to do the guards?
Probably. I like the guards.
All
more
right,
than
let's do the
Browns.
guards.
They're fun.
Eventually, you're going to need more. All right? I say that with a team that was projected at 60 wins, 70 wins, fourth in the division, never thought this was going to happen. Shane Bieber goes down, and look what you did. You went to the ALCS. Now, the problem is, going into the game last night, the last three remaining teams, the Dodgers, the Mets, and the Yankees, three highest payrolls in baseball, and now you got a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. I don't think anybody really wants to watch, but here we are, all right? I'm so happy with this team. And I'm happy that they fought the way that they did. They didn't get smoked in that series. They fought. That helps build the chemistry and the camaraderie because we want to get back to winning a World Series. And that's how I feel today. And I'm so happy and I'm proud to be a Guardians fan. And I thank them for the run. But eventually, Ryan, I'm going to set my sights higher again and say that we eventually got to win one. What is it? The third longest championship drought for an individual team in history?
Is it not number one?
I don't think it's number one. I think it's close. 1948, last time the Guardians Indians won a World Series. Eventually, I need that drought to end. So it's like, I'm happy today. You know, we could talk individual guys about Naylor or Jimenez or Jose in the playoffs and all this other type of stuff showing up fine.
The Guardians are two.
Who's one?
The Arizona Cardinals, 76 years.
Okay, so yeah, there you go.
They won the 1947 NFL championship.
So 1 year before us. That's it. So you have the second longest streak in sports, not in this town, thankfully. God love you, Cavs. But for that team. I know the Browns 54, I get it. But like, you know, I'm happy. Eventually, it's going to have to. You're going to need to spend the money. Eventually, David Blitzer's going to buy this team. I actually think now would be a really good time for that to happen. And eventually, a little influx of some cash. You'll get Bieber back next year. The problem is, I'm going to be on pins and needles all off season and getting into spring training because I'm going to have that innate fear of expectations. You know, the Cavs are the only team in this town that dealt with expectations and actually lived up to it. The Browns and the Guardians have this horrible problem of the years that you actually expect them to be good, they're not. And then the years they come out of nowhere, and I'm going to say the Browns have never been to an AFC championship game like the Guardians go to the ALCS, but like, you didn't expect that. So now I'm going to enter 2025, and I'm going to be nervous as hell going, these are the years we screw up. I hate that. I hate being that kind of fan. And there'll be a lot of people that are all in, sure. And this offseason, they can make some night moves. It's great. But at the end, you also realized what the stars mean to you. Mm-hmm. And if you really want to boil it down, listen, we can't pay Juan Soto. We can't pay Aaron Judge and all that. The Yankees got their stars to show up. You didn't. You lost the series 4-1.
Yeah,
that's about as simple as a statement as I can make.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes back to expectations, like we always say, and it hurts more because you're getting teased constantly. And what I mean when I say that is, you're so competitive and so much better than other teams, the majority of other teams in baseball, with the constrictions of being a mid-level market team, right?
Sure.
And every year, it seems like once you meet up with these Goliaths, these Yankees, right? I mean, I know we don't play the Dodgers too often, but they're another example in the NL, is you realize you need everything to go right to beat that team in a 7-game series, despite all the talent you have. If you were able to spend the money like these teams were, you would be just as good as them, if not better than them. And you would have, like you said, multiple World Series at this point. And it sucks because you're constantly getting teased and reminded that there's nothing we can do about it. And talent aside, there's just a clear market disadvantage.
No, I get it. And that's, like, for some people, that fills their cup. You know what I'm saying? Like, their cup of being a fan. That fills you up that we did get there. And, you know, we took out other team. Now, again, the Tigers are in the same spot that we are, and the Royals and all that kind of stuff. But you want to go toe-to-toe with the Giants. And eventually, you will beat them. You know, if you play a 7-game series 10 times out with the Yankees, we're winning a couple of those. It's just this one wasn't in the cards. And you made it harder on yourself when your stars didn't show up, you know? Okay, and trust me, we love these guys. But like John Kenzie Noel and David Fry can only take you so far, right? Eventually, you're going to need the guys that you have to pay or are supposed to be your middle lineup guy. The one thing I keep coming back to, could you imagine if we just had one Shane Bieber? And I know he's out, and I'm not talking about Shane individually, but I'm just talking about that idea of a bona fide starter. Like, again, Garrett, Cole, whatever. Because what I learned, and I don't know if I was going to do this today or not, but let's just do it quick. What did you learn about the Guardians season this year? And I think it's a bigger discussion. I actually want to do a giant list. Now's as good as time as any. What did you learn about the Guardians this year? In any order. Okay, number one, Stephen Vogt, good manager. All right? It doesn't mean he didn't make mistakes. It doesn't mean that he didn't have to learn on the job in the playoffs, but I hope that arms him from the future. So I'm going to start right there. I learned Stephen Vogt right for this job, number one.
Well, let's stay on the Steven train. Stephen Kwan, blank check.
Yes.
I mean, let's be real.
Yes.
Josh Naylor's
yes.
one thing, and I'm not sure that he'll be on this baseball team next season. We'll save that. But Stephen Kwan, for how hot he started,
yes.
And I understand the back half of the season wasn't as great. Honestly, it was pretty bad for his standards. But he played his best baseball in the postseason,
yes.
and that's when you get paid.
And at a point where he was also batting 400, so again, I think the tough stretch, we can't overlook that. I think there was an injury factor with that, and now Stephen Kwan is good. I think Lane Thomas has a future here. That's fine. Some of your young guys, I want to see more Manzardo. I like John Kenzie Noel. That fucking bullpen, man. Cade Smith can get a 7-year deal for me tomorrow.
No, you said that about Clase. And I know you're still on that wave.
No, I still feel good about Emmanuel Clase. I do. I still feel really good about Emmanuel Clase. What else did I learn this season?
I would say Brian Rocchio, very good at the end of the season.
He's going to start as your starting shortstop.
And I understand how valuable Andres Jimenez is with the glove. We can talk about all we want, the best defender in baseball. But something at some point, has to give at the plate for him.
Well, that's the thing, they kept bringing up on the stats of what he did 2 years ago when he got the deal. Last year was bad, this year was worse. Yeah. So I know he can do it. Can he make the adjustments and figure out he ain't going anywhere? He's a 7-year deal. Can't pay Josh Naylor. No. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I know he made some plays in the field. I think he's frankly a liability at first. I've continued to say that. And you have to find your home run production for somewhere else. I can't do it with Josh Naylor anymore. No, I just can't. Bo Naylor seems to be a miss.
Yeah.
Deal with that. And then I think the biggest takeaway that I have, and it's an unequivocal fact, they have got to invest in starting pitching.
Yep.
That's it. And you'll get Bieber back.
Hopefully.
No, they'll sign him. I feel extremely confident in saying they're going to sign him for at least next year. Now, I said this, remember, last offseason, before he got hurt, I wanted them to sit down and say, let's do a 6-year deal. Because what he was going to get on the open market was not what he thought it was going to be. There could be a slot to move in there and get some length. Now, you have issues coming off of Tommy John surgery. It'll be a 1-year deal. But I hope the door isn't closed for a future. Without a doubt, you have got to invest in starting pitching. I want Matthew Boyd back, but I also just can't sit there and say he'll just do exactly what he did, this season. There's relative of that. You have some of the young guys that are coming up, but without a doubt, one of the things that I take away from this season the most, if they're going to spend any money at all this offseason, it has got to be on starting pitching. I'm fine. Again, Naylor or not, and I think he's got one more year of arbitration. I'm fine not spending a dime on position players. My outfield is set. My infield is set. Outfield goes Quan, Thomas, and you could platoon Noel with Manzardo over there. All right?
Fair enough.
Infield. Jose, Rocchio, Jimenez. Again, I don't want Josh Naylor at first, but if David Fry can take that job over.
That's the thing, is will his elbow be healthy by start of next season?
Well,
probably not, but I don't think it'll be lingering past All-Star break.
But at that point, does he need Tommy John? I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on. But you don't have him catch anymore, and if you're going to have a guy not have to throw very much, put him at first base. So you can let Fry play there. Catchers are fine. Bullpen is set. You're running back every one of those guys.
Are catchers fine?
Well, from a relative standpoint of get a guy with defense that can hit a little bit.
And who's that?
I don't know.
Who's that?
I don't know. I really don't. Maybe you got to invest there. But that's it. That's where it comes back to. The only thing on the Guardians' wish list this offseason has got to be starting pitching. That's it. It's the only thing I want them to spend on. It's the only thing they need to spend on.
Yeah.
You could always say one more bat. Again, a corner outfielder if you want. Somebody can play a couple positions on the infield, whatever. All I really, truly need is a starting pitcher. And I do think that a starting pitcher would have changed that series. Would we still maybe have lost? Sure. But the fact is that Tanner Bybee, and I'm not trying to rip on Tanner Bybee today or whatever, he's not an ace. He's not. He's a really good 3 in a lot of good rotations. He's a 3. That's it. Now, he got throttled and pushed up to being the ace because you had no other choice. But he's not. He's not. Shane Bieber has got to be your ace next year. Or go somehow, some God way, sign somebody. You can't run that rotation back the way that you did.
No, there's honestly no doubt why it's baseball. Anything can happen. But if you had Shane Bieber and you had Jose and Josh Naylor step up in the playoffs with the addition of like Rocchio getting hot, and maybe you would want Jimenez to step up and do something at the plate. And I know that's a lot to ask for, but at the end of the day, it's actually really not. There's no doubt in my mind that you would have beat the Yankees and you would have had a very good chance to go beat the Dodgers.
Right. Here we are. Still awaiting results on Deshaun Watson. We all know what happened. We all know what he did. Wait a minute. No, it's not official. Again, we all know what happened, but they're waiting for the MRI that I'm sure they'll get this morning, and I'm sure Kevin Stefanski will have the announcement a little bit later today to make that official, and you just kind of move forward.
If you had to guess the results of our poll through 275 votes.
So our question was, did you have an issue with people booing? I'm going to guess it's like 60-40 yes.
Wow. That's like perfect.
Am I right?
Yeah. 62 yes, 37 no.
What I don't want, was it probably just a small group of people? Ready for this? Ready for this conversation?
Yeah.
In that stadium, in households and bars across Northeast Ohio, there were some people that cheered when he got hurt. What almost all of us internally did was maybe cheer. The difference is some of us let it out and some of us kept it in.
And here's the thing. I will say this, too. There is a difference between, I mean, you never want to see somebody get hurt like that. But, like, there is a difference between being, like, internally, like you said, happy, just the fact that you know you're done with Deshaun Watson experiment in Cleveland versus, you know, openly expressing cheer.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not happy about what happened yesterday. It's not good for my football team. It's not good for my all of that. But I also am ready to move on from Deshaun Watson. I have been, and this is one way that it happened. But it's just like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't want that to happen, but it happened. Okay, so here we are. That's it. You didn't ask for it to happen, but it did. So now you pick the pieces up and you move forward with it. Whether or not you want to sit there and cheer or send memes on Twitter, or there was a video going around that somebody faked, and it was the chance of you deserved it, and they put it over that. People thought that was real. It wasn't. It was one of those horse crap aggregator accounts or whatever. You know what I mean? That didn't happen. There were people there. That's not what happened. Now, again, did some people cheer? Absolutely. But social media being the cesspool that it is, people jump on that and think it was worse than it really was. It's not, okay? It's really not. Yeah. How'd they let that guy in with the sign? Did you see the sign, by the way?
No.
When will the Browns get a happy ending? Somebody had that on a sign at the game.
But here's the thing. I don't have a problem with that.
No, that's bad.
How is that bad though?
Is that not making fun of the situation?
Sure. If you're looking at that, yes, it's never funny to make fun
of
something.
Fun.
Here's what I thought. You're right. It's never funny to make fun of a situation.
It's kind of the whole situation. I don't find it.
Me,
right.
No,
I know where you're coming from.
I was saying, it to me, I don't have a problem with it making fun of Deshaun Watson because that's something he should have to live with the rest of his life.
Right. And there are a lot of people that are out there screaming, saying, "Yep, he deserved this, and this is what he gets, and the Cleveland Browns deserve this, and all that." I just can't join you on that. Like, I just can't. Whether or not, here's, I guess, another way to sum this up. Whether he deserved it or not, I don't give a shit. It's over. So I'm ready to just take these next steps to get forward. Does that mean that I just, like, forget the past? Like, no, I'm angry about it. You wasted away a good chunk of this team, all the good players on this team, but there's no point in me revisiting it. There's no more. Again, this would be different if Kevin Stefanski or Andrew Berry were the ones that pulled the trigger on Deshaun Watson. I don't think they did. There's no way that the Haslams are selling the Cleveland Browns. So stop with that. It's futile. This whole thing is just a bunch of futile bull crap. You want to be right. Everybody wants to sit there and say, "I told you about Deshaun Watson. I told you." Congratulations. Good. Great. Where do we go from here? Where do we go? Right?
Cam Ward.
I like Cam Ward, man. 4 touchdowns on Saturday. I'll take Cam Ward all day. And moving forward, there is nothing else to do, right? He will go on IR. He will be out the rest of this season. Then this offseason, they'll probably just keep him around. Because maybe they just do cut him. I don't know. I'll tell you this. I did get this question a lot. There is nothing, nada, that this injury changes the contract. Nothing. The only thing is the Haslams get a little bit of cash back in their pocket on an insurance policy. All right? All these big deals, all these teams take out an insurance policy. And that is not just on career-ending injuries, but it's also on season-ending injuries. So they will probably cash that insurance policy in. They will get some money back in their pocket. Does nothing for the cap, and it does nothing for your draft picks. Injury does nothing. That's why I guess it's a waste. The injury was a bit of a waste, other than the fact that unequivocally he's out. And I guess I will join you on this, Ryan. Are you ready? You've brought me over to your side. At least now it's not they benched him and he's still lingering around.
Fact.
He's out. He's out. Okay? It is going Jameis Winston. Because if they had benched him, he still would have been hanging around. And Jameis throws 4 interceptions. The DTR goes in and he fumbles 5 times. Everybody's saying, well, do we go back to Deshaun Watson? At least your decision was made. At least it's over. You know you're done. I will join you on that. There you go.
But also, real quickly, and that's not me coming at Myles or anything, but
no,
like, all the players, obviously, like, I understand you're sticking up for your teammate, and you don't want, you never want anybody to boo at an injury. But when you talk about having empathy, why in the world would you expect anyone to have even an ounce of empathy for someone like Deshaun Watson? That's my question.
So, okay.
And that doesn't mean I'm advocating for cheering, but I'm saying, why would anybody have an ounce of empathy for Deshaun Watson? Why? I'm asking you, why should I?
No, and I have an answer for you.
Enlighten me. Why should I?
Because I have a real life personal example of this, but I need to tread lightly here. People have different relationships with different people. What Myles knows of Deshaun Watson is different than what you and I know of him. Right?
Of course.
So and again, Myles still needs to toe the company line and get the message out from the Cleveland Browns. But like the line about him showing up and working every day and like, what you heard from a lot of the players, they would focus on the football side of it, frankly, because they didn't want to go to the other side of it, right? But that's where we got to remember Myles has a different relationship with Deshaun than you and I do. And I'm not trying to put words in Myles' mouth or anything like that to say that maybe he actually does like Deshaun.
But
it's also, okay, but sorry, I don't mean to cut you out, but here's one thing. Just because he says he likes Deshaun Watson, I'm going to ask and say this instead of saying it as a fact. Does that then mean he condones what he did? Like, I'm just asking that question because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
No, and it's
because you could have somebody, and maybe people have examples of this in their own real life, right? Whether it's a family member or a friend, and they did something bad, but you're like, but that's still my brother. That's still my sister. And it doesn't mean that I condone what they did.
Yeah,
but there's still somebody that means that is important to me. And I'm saying family, break it down to friends, right? Well, if you have a friend that you've been friends with for your whole life, or you've known, again, I know they're just football players, they're just teammates, I get it. But you know what I'm saying? Like, his relationship with Deshaun is different than you and mine.
No,
we don't like it. We don't like Deshaun Watson. I get it, but maybe Myles does.
I understand what you're saying, and that's not me saying that means Myles condones any behavior like that at all.
Exactly. Exactly.
Obviously, I don't know him, but
right,
he's an upstanding guy. Like, he's the model citizen, is Myles Garrett. But my point is, nobody's booing Deshaun Watson because he's bad. Like, nobody cheered for his injury because he played bad quarterback.
No, that's not true at all. No.
Okay. Yeah, obviously there's some dirtbags that would boo him just because of bad play, but you know that you can't tell me that fact. The majority of people booing Deshaun Watson was because of the outside stuff.
No.
Yes, it was.
No.
Yes, it was.
No,
yes,
we're missing here. It's both.
Well, of course it's
not
both.
But what I'm saying,
my point
no,
is,
they
my
did
point
it.
is, you would have not heard people boo in that stadium or cheer in that stadium after he went down if that didn't ever happen.
Here's where we're at. Let's say that this is even level. Little visual learning for us here today. Let's say that this is even level. This is Danny Shelton when he showed up to the Cleveland Browns. You know nothing of him. He's fine. He's whatever.
Okay.
Myles Garrett is up here.
Okay.
Nick Chubb is up here, right?
Okay, yeah.
Deshaun Watson started down here, and it only got worse.
Yeah, but why do you think he started down there?
I'm not right. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. And it is his fault that he started down here. But that's where when they booed him yesterday, that's because of the combination that he started down here. Now, let's say again, he started down here. If he played a little bit better, if he was playing better, the fan base would have risen that up. Right or wrong, everybody's entitled to their own opinion and how they feel about it. Again, I know people that washed their hands of the Cleveland Browns the second they signed Deshaun Watson, and they hate Deshaun Watson. I know those people. There are people that loved Deshaun Watson when he came here and wanted him to play well. Then, kind of like me, I was in the middle. I go, I don't like him. I wish he wasn't here, but let's see if he can play football or not.
But you could take the worst player on the Browns, whoever, and insert player X, whoever you want it to be. Some people say it's Deshaun Watson, but insert whoever you want it to be. No, like if they didn't have any of that bad stuff off the field, nobody's gonna go cheer when they tear their Achilles. That's not why they boo. That's not why
Ryan, they booed when Tim Couch got hurt.
Of course, yes, you have some dirtbags, but I'm guarantee you,
I know, and
you're
I
not
still
hearing echoes of these cheering throughout Huntington Bank, whatever the hell it's called now.
Well, look across the league. Nobody boos for guys like. There are no other examples of that. I mean, it's happened before, sure, but when it's the opponent, when it's somebody like even this, and here's the weird thing. If that happened to TJ Watt, if it happened to Joe Burrow, if it happened to Lamar, I'm trying to think of like our rivals.
No, we would not cheer.
We still wouldn't do it.
No,
right?
That's
we still
what I'm
wouldn't.
saying, because none of them have that off the field issues. None of them are none of them are alleged to be sexual predators.
The difference is we have ownership of it because he plays for our team. And here's the thing. I'm not arguing with you that his off-the-field stuff factored in. Of course it did.
I'm just saying you can't and I'm not saying cheering was right. I'm just saying you can't expect anyone to have any empathy for him. You can't expect that.
I understand that. And I guess at this point, okay, I mean, that's another great question. Do you feel bad for Deshaun Watson?
No.
There's a little part of me that does.
I don't.
Again, I'm not excusing what he did. I guess I'm looking from the microcosm of he tried to play, he's a football player. It didn't go well. Then he got hurt. I feel bad for that.
Okay, I know a ton of people that got hurt and had their careers derailed and they didn't make a cent.
Yeah, that's true too. And I mean, that's the other issue within that locker room too, right? You sit there and, I think this is just such another interesting conversation we'll probably have to do later this week or something like that, of like the Browns picking the pieces up here and understanding that this guy, suspension, season-ending injury. Strip everything else away. Don't talk about anything else other than he's a quarterback. If this was any other guy that you would say suspended for half a year, season-ending injury, anybody would be done with that guy. Outside of Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, all of that. You'd be done just on the fact that he has missed 3 seasons in a row. 3 seasons in a row he's missed. Everybody, a bottom-end linebacker wouldn't have a job anymore. A backup rotational offensive lineman who has played as few games as Deshaun Watson has due to injury over the last couple years, he'd be done. He would never play the game again. Boil it down to that. But the thing is, now this locker room has got to pick these pieces back up and try to move forward with it. That, you look around and you go, that guy gets paid a lot of money to sit at home now. And again, that was one of my pushes about playing him. If everybody else got to go in there and bust ass and play, you better leave him in there because he's got to play. Now he gets to sit at home and collect checks. The other thing, and again, this is not excusing anything that happened off the field, but you got to remember too, people play different people play by different sets of the rules. That was something dealt with for a long time. People go, they just get to do it differently. It's all right. So that's the world that we live in, man. They're different, and that's how that goes. Because you quarterback, because you got paid all that money, he just gets to do it differently. Right or wrong, I don't. Again, that's not. And I do not want that clip taken out of context of, well, he gets to just do what he wants off. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not at all what I'm talking about. Here we are. All right, let's catch our break. Morning update, grid, another week for the grid. Monday Night Football, solid week for Ryan and myself, but we got 2 games tonight. Ravens, Bucks, Chargers, Cards. We'll get to our plays for tonight. World Series is set. We got it all for you right here at Big Play. Folks, we got a lot of announcements coming up. So number one, we are changing some things on our social media. So our Instagram is shutting down and going over to the Big Play channel, and our YouTube channel will be doing the same. Correct, Ryan?
Yes, I believe that's the plan.
Okay. Then the easiest thing to do for you is just download the brand new Big Play app, because some big changes coming with that. Can I spoil it? Can I say it?
I don't know.
Come get me, Padone. I don't care.
I don't even think I know what you're talking about.
They're getting live streaming kicking on that.
Oh.
They're going to get the live stream working on that. We got a partnership with, I can't get too much into it, but we are working hard. I'm not. Dave and Nick are. They're working really hard to get the live streaming, so our show will be live 9 to 11, still on Twitter, still on YouTube, but also in the app.
That'd be nice.
So that'll be I'm excited for that. So just go download the app. We got some new content coming your way surrounding the horse racing side of things here at Big Play. Very excited for that. We got it for you. And then tonight, Hanford, Big Play Cleveland show. Blake and Greg Williams. Can't wait to hear Coach all his thoughts on that.
We got basketball's right around the corner.
Right.
So I won't spoil anything, but we got a kind of not necessarily a new show, a mixture of a previous show.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't even know about this. Is it a former 3-point shooter for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Yeah, he'll still be a part of it.
Booby's still around.
He'll still be a part of it. But it's almost getting kind of like a rebrand.
Okay. All right. Excited for that. We kick off.
It'll be exciting.
Do we not kick off tomorrow? No. When do the Cavs start? Wednesday. That's it. Wednesday, baby. Let's go. So we got it all going for you. All right, bigplay.com. Check us out on Twitter, YouTube. All of it is where you need it. All right, 7 big questions coming back. What do the Browns do after the situation with Deshaun Watson? Get more insight into that. Grid, time up, bracket, morning update. Stay with us.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like ass. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer-flavored beer.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
That's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Even though our strength of schedule was number 1 in the NFL, I think we have the dogs up front. We have the dogs in the back. As it relates to our defense alone keeps us in these games. Not even talking about offense. Let's just say Deshaun Watson isn't there. We got dogs on the defensive side that's mirroring the potential of the Ravens from 2001 or 2000 Ravens with Jamal Lewis and the boys and Ray Lewis and those guys. They won Again, no disrespect to Trent Dilfer, but they won without a high-powered offense.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
They're off in the Kentucky Derby as Authentic takes them around the far turn. Tis the Laws making his move now, and they're into the stretch. These two stride for stride. Authentic, tis the Law. Here's the wire. Authentic has won the Kentucky Derby.
Back at it, Fontana show right here. Big play. Check us out. Why does Elon keep screwing us, man?
I don't know.
I keep trying to repost the video of our thing, and all it does, want to know what? I got to do it on the desktop. That's why. Yeah, the show is live on the desktop for some reason on the whatchamacallit.
Cell phone?
Yeah, mobile. All right, I'm reposting the show. It's up at Matt Fontana Show. Drop the follow there. Let's get to it. All right, here's where we're at. Hour 2. Ryan's got the morning update. We'll get to that. We got the grid. I've got the big question. What is next for the Cleveland Browns beyond the Deshaun Watson injury? We'll get to our time hop. And we got 2 plays for Monday Night Football. We're back in the grid this week as 2 Halloween theme play to go. Ryan, go.
Alrighty, well, not a reunion to remember for Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. The Jets get blown out by the Steelers in the Yinzer City, 37-15. Steelers improved to 5-2.
Wow.
Jets fall to 2-5 as their playoff chances seem slim.
They're done. I need to remind myself of this, Ryan, when we place our wagers and even when we do it tonight. Ask yourself, is this team ass? And if you ever say yes to that, don't let that go for the rest of the season. You know what I mean? Like, I know New Orleans is ass. Remind me of that. Jacksonville, maybe a little less ass. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to remind myself, I think the Jets are really bad. Now, I didn't expect that from Russell Wilson, and I sent the tweet out about him looking like crap in the first quarter. That changed. 100%. And I think he got comfortable. Mike Tomlin got to be dancing, I don't even know, in his Yingling beer or whatever. I was going to say Skyline. That's not what they do there. That's for those folks down there on the
Hermione Bros.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, that's right. He's got to be sitting there smiling at everybody today, saying, I told you we could be better. Steelers are still a force, and you got to remember how hard it still is to play there at Three Rivers or Heinz Field. Acrisure.
Or no, is that Cincy?
No, Paycor.
Yes, Acrisure.
Ain't an easy place to play, and I think didn't credit that enough. I mean, obviously, I picked the Jets, and they weren't even close. What else are they going to do? Okay, you brought in Devontae Adams. You tried to throw it to him. Why? And I'm seriously asking this question. Do they throw the ball to anybody other than Breece Hall? And I know Garrett Wilson had that multiple drops and interceptions, and then that poor guy got hurt, from the Jets and all that kind of stuff. Just give it to Breece Hall. Just give it to Breece Hall and get out of the way. But again, they had a defense that I'm not saying that Sauce Gardner is cooked. They finally get Hassan Reddick back. Good. They're going to need it. That defense got chewed up, man, by freaking Russell Wilson. I got to give credit where credit is due. 16 out of 29, 264. About that. Russell Wilson came in and put up a stat line and got a win, 37 points. Deshaun Watson's not done that in 2 years. I would say 2 years, but like, just think about that. That's pretty sober. And then tonight you got to watch the Ravens go at it too. I think Cincinnati will climb their way. I think Cincinnati's gonna climb their way back into this. But at this point, Steelers are on their way to the playoffs. And think about this: you're 7 games in. You have 10 games to go, right? They just got to go 5-5, and I think they're going to have a wild card spot. That's a pretty powerful place there for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're good, man. They're a good football team. I don't know what to tell you.
Alrighty, well, the World Series Game 1 is Friday that nobody wants to watch, but it will be the Yankees at the Dodgers. First game.
Oh, you know who wants to watch that? Rob Manfred.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I know he does.
The antithesis of Moneyball in this fall classic.
No, and that's like when you have the last 3 remaining teams other than the Guardians, because obviously they were done yesterday, and then the 3 highest payrolls in baseball. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I will watch more than the Yankees, or I'm sorry, than the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. You know what I mean? Like, for the casual average fan, this is what you want to see. These 2 teams, historic teams, haven't met in the World Series since 1981. So we're coming up on over 40 years since these 2 legacy programs have met for the World Series. I kind of want to see it. I'll be sitting down and watching it. We'll make our selections for that on Friday, but like, yeah, it's a lesser of 2 evils. I tell you this, man, go Dodgers. Go Dodgers. I don't want to see the Yankees win anything. Screw them. Screw them. So I hope Shohei is on. I hope Walker Buehler's found it. And I'll be rooting hard for the Dodgers in this series. But I'll watch, and I'm assuming a lot of people will as well. So it worked out the way that baseball wanted. Now, again, you're right. Does that send the wrong message? Yeah. Does baseball actually care? No. Another conversation I was having with somebody yesterday. Why doesn't baseball change? And I go, because actually nobody wants them to. All right? Listen, this is where baseball is at. Okay, number 1, players do not want that to change with guys signing these obscene and insane amount of deals. That's not happening. The only thing they want to change, and I think they do, is arbitration. I think arbitration is stupid. They need to change how the younger players get their money a little bit quicker, but that's aside. So players don't want to change. Okay? Does baseball want to change? No. Because for the vast majority, but for what? 12 teams, they don't have a problem with it, right? And I could probably list you the 12 teams. Who are the teams that don't have an issue paying money? The Cubs. And whether or not they're good or bad, right? But you know, the Yankees, the Mets, the Cubs. All right, let's pull this whole list here. The Dodgers. You know, the Angels, the Padres, they shouldn't have a problem. The Rangers didn't have a problem spending money. Okay? There are teams that don't have a problem cut the check. What about the lowly Pittsburgh Pirates? What about us? What about the Tigers? What about that? Well, here's your window. How many of these trades set your franchise up when you trade away Francisco Lindor and you bring back the pieces that you need? That helps you be competitive on a year-out and year basis. The only thing the money gets is that the Yankees should be competitive every year. They should be. The Guardians and the Pirates and all these other teams, you build it up for a 3-year run. And when that's over, you got to retool. Would it be easier if there was a salary cap? Maybe. The only thing is, though, what they don't want, you put a salary cap in, you're also going to put in a salary floor. And they're going to require you to spend X number of dollars. Those low-budget teams don't want to do that either. And I'll tell you this. It's going to change here in Cleveland. This isn't an anti-Dolan thing. This isn't me getting on the Dolans. Conspiracy theory. This was perfect. They needed that this year to show that stadium full, to get season tickets ramped up for next year. They'll finish that construction for next year. David Blitzer, come on in, buddy. He's going to buy this team. You know that. I know that. He's going to buy this team. And things are going to start to change a little bit. I think.
You like my coat?
I was going to ask him, like, what are you doing? It's 150 degrees in here, so I don't know why you're putting your coat on. Just show it. You want to put it on? I didn't even see it.
Kind of badass.
It is a badass.
Sorry.
The windbreak. Lost generation of the windbreakers. Oh, I like that. That's a nice little jacket. I'm warming up to the sea, though, by the way. The sea's been good, yeah. Here you go. I love the sea. That's a nice jacket.
Kind of dope, isn't it?
It's a really nice jacket. I like it.
Keeps me warm.
But I think this was perfect for this plan of the Dolans getting out, Blitzer taking in. I think this was really what they needed. Good times are ahead for the Cleveland Guardians. I know.
Alrighty, last year for the morning update. The city of New York is a basketball world champion again, but of course I'm not talking about the Knicks. The New York Liberty, they win their first WNBA Finals championship in franchise history. They defeat the Minnesota Lynx in 5 games. First time the WNBA Finals has gone the distance, Matt.
Well, and the first time they've ever had multiple overtime games. You know, the thing is, wouldn't it be better if it was a 7-game series? Now, a lot of people were tweeting that those ladies looked tired, and they were just kind of dude, Sabrina Ionescu was like 1 of 18. Now, she splashed that 1-3. Breanna Stewart clanked those 2 free throws. I felt like the Lynx had their moment. They kind of missed it at the end of regulation with that shot, and then they didn't call their timeout for the Liberty to get back down the floor. They just take it to overtime. But again, you know, Nafisa Collier is an amazing player. She's so good. It was Brianna. I did this thing too. It was Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu, but it was like they didn't even play that well. It was some of the other people. That Sabali girl who had a block, and then that the rookie, can't remember her name, but she has the most points in a playoff run for a rookie ever. Like, it was fun. I tell you this, man. I was wrong for this too. Like, I've never watched a lot of WNBA basketball. I watched that game last night, and it was so much fun. It was so great to see. So, season's over. Congratulations to them. They have a lot to build on there for next season. Great job on ESPN too for all the coverage. Ryan Rucco, Rebecca Lobo on the call. It was awesome, dude. It was a lot of fun to watch. It really was.
Before we move on to the grid, real quick reminder for since we're talking about basketball, tomorrow we got to do our season prediction.
All of it. I got my
season tips off tomorrow.
You want to revisit our NFL ones quick?
I want to revisit. What did we say? If you remember what our predictions were for the Cavs last year.
Oh, the Cavs? I don't remember. I have to put it down. I have our football predictions right here.
Oh, yeah. Go through those.
You want to do it quick?
Real quick.
All right.
Remind the people.
Just see where we're at.
I think I'm doing pretty well.
NFC East, we both took Philly.
It's possible.
Okay. North, I took Detroit. You took Green Bay. Both very possible.
Yeah.
South, I took Tampa Bay. You took Atlanta. Still vote. Atlanta might be cooked. That's fine.
Yeah.
West, we both took the 49ers. Yeah, maybe. Wild card, I took Green Bay, the Rams, not good, and Atlanta. You took Detroit, Rams, and Chicago.
Yeah, bro.
Well done.
Yeah, dude.
NFC champion, you took Green Bay. I took the 49ers. You're sitting better than I am. Yeah. All right, AFC. East, I took Miami. You took Buffalo.
Yes,
You're sitting fine. South, I took the Jags. But you took the Colts.
Dude, is Anthony Richardson
Yeah, he might suck. He might not be good. I don't know. He might not be good.
He might suck.
West, we both took Kansas City. Okay. North, I took Cincy.
Whatever. Pass. Okay, I felt forced to pick the Browns.
Okay. Wild card, I went with the Jets. Houston and the Browns. Very clearly, I will miss 2 of those 3.
Yeah, so
you went Cincinnati, Jets, Houston.
Okay.
So we're fine. AFC champion, we both took Kansas City. Okay. MVP, you took Josh Allen.
Very possible.
Joe Burrow for me.
Honestly,
I know he comes back and
it's very unlikely.
Maybe. Offensive player of the year. I took Saquon Barkley.
Might be hitting.
Probably good.
Probably be Derek. Though.
You took Amon-Ra St. Brown.
It'll probably
very
be
possible.
Henry.
Defensive player of the year. I took Myles. Not gonna happen.
It'll be TJ Watt.
You took Sauce. Probably not gonna happen.
No, it won't happen.
Coach of the year. I took Dan Campbell, and you took Matt LaFleur.
Both possible.
Yeah, very possible. So we're on some of our picks there, but yeah, we'll do basketball. The season kicks off tomorrow. That's why.
Yeah.
Right. Season.
Celtics and somebody, and then Lakers and.
Oh yeah. So we'll do it tomorrow. Dude, we get to start betting some basketball again.
No.
Awesome.
You ready?
Ready. Let's go. Oh, no, I can't see it. I've got nothing on this screen over here. It's on, but it's just a blank screen.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Just pull it up on your laptop. It's the same grid.
Oh. Okay. Obviously, everybody else does. We're in Studio B today, so we're stuff. All right. Oh, the Guardians are in baseball today. Football. All right, let me make sure I got the right one here. Ravens, Bucks, Hall of Fame. All right, here we go. Let me start the timer here. Go.
All right. Hall of Fame Buccaneers.
Oh my God. Oh wait, Derek Brooks isn't in yet. John Lynch. Let's go, John Lynch.
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah. John Lynch. Cardinals.
Fitz isn't in yet.
He's not in yet.
Anquan Boldin?
No. We'll just
Jerry
go Kurt.
Rice ever played for the Cardinals?
No, we can just go Kurt Warner though.
He's in. He's gotta be in.
Oh, 100%. And then
LT.
Chargers.
LT?
Yeah, you can go LT.
Okay, how did I spell Lada wrong?
Lada. It's the first thing that pops up for me, so it must just be LAD. Okay, so now we get into the part here. Okay.
Giants Bucks. Is that not Mike Glennon? Or am I just making up?
Yes, no, it 100% is, but I also think he works for the Cardinals too. Oh, Colt McCoy works there.
Yeah.
All right, go Colt.
Mike Glennon played for the.
Don't even know. You're 1,000% correct. That is Mike Glennon.
Okay, fine. Long neck. Really.
Long neck, Mike Glennon. That's him. That's him. All right, Chargers, Giants. All right, just go Chargers, Ravens. That's Eric Weddle. Okay.
That's Anquan Boldin, right? Cardinals,
yes, Chargers, Cards. Yes.
Cardinals, Ravens.
Or yeah, that's. I'm sorry. Yeah. Anquan Boldin, correct. Okay. Chargers, Giants. Antonio Gade. I thought Jeremy Shockey for a second, but he never played for the Chargers.
Always.
I know. Matt Breida never played in LA. Oh, Tyrod Taylor.
I always forget
about Tyrod.
That's why they punctured his lung.
That's right. That's right. I
Remember
forgot
that
about that.
shit?
Yeah, I remember that.
Why look at his picture?
I know. That's why they do that to my guy. My guy. I feel bad about that. All right. Bucks, Ravens. I don't know why I thought Leonard Fournette for a second, but he never played in Baltimore. Is that not Jason Pierre-Paul?
Did he play for the Ravens?
Did he play for the Ravens? I think he did. All right. We got plenty of time, so we can think it through for a second, but that's not one that I hate so much. And do you know one that is the actual 100% correct answer? It is Josh Johnson.
Is it?
1,000%. 1,000%.
He never lets us know.
He never lets us know.
Trent Dilfer was there.
Oh, yeah. That would have worked. Yep. Right.
All right.
Wait, did Jason Pierre-Paul work there? He did. Vinny Testaverde, Jason Pierre-Paul, Deshaun Jackson. Yeah. And Josh Johnson, 100%. There you go. Lorenzo Neal, the fullback. Actually, he would have worked Ravens, Bucks, and Chargers. You got to remember Lorenzo Neal, and so they Brashad Perryman. That's a good one, man. That's a good one. All right, well done. Nice job on the grid. Nice, easy one today to kick off our week. That's how it goes.
Should
All
I
right.
read some of these comments?
Yeah, rip through it, 'cause I'm assuming they're Watson.
But for the poll.
Oh, yeah. Go, because I got some stuff from Watson here, too.
Oh, well, then let's just move on.
Why? What?
We can get to it.
Wait, comments about what?
People responding to our poll.
Yeah, it's about Watson, though, right? Yeah, so I have other things to tie in with Watson, so take it away.
Oh, okay.
You do the comments, then I'm going to get to the commentary from ESPN about
Okay,
Deshaun
we
Watson.
asked, did you have an issue with people booing during the Watson
Yes.
injury? Lucas, unfortunately, I don't think I can take another 5 years of trash football. That's all I see in the future. I just don't care anymore. James, depends on how guilty he was in the sexual assault mess. Matt, not nearly as much as I do with him sexually abusing women.
Sure.
Michael, how many times can I vote? Yes, classless people, and it reflects poorly on the good fans. What's the national storyline? Cleveland fans cheered after their quarterback got hurt and taken off a cart. Fred.
Off that comment, that's kind of my other thing is like, does it make us look bad? Does it really bother you that the national narrative now is these a-hole Cleveland fans and all? That's, I guess, my anger in this whole thing is it's bringing unjust hate towards us, towards the team, when it does nothing. It didn't do anything. All right, just shut up. Here's the other problem, too. I'm not asking you to cheer for the guy. Like on the other side of, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that you had to stand there and go, oh my God, Deshaun, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That's terrible. I'm so sorry that happened. Take my Achilles, Deshaun, I'm not asking you to do that either. I'm just saying, shut up. You can internalize that all you want. And I know a lot of people out there probably did. Yeah, good for the son of a gun. That's what he deserves. Sure, do that. I don't care. Don't say it. You can think whatever you want. That's also not how I feel about it, right? You and I had a pretty candid conversation off the air talking about this whole thing, right? And I sit there and I say, you asked me, do I feel bad for Deshaun Watson? I do. I do. It doesn't mean that I condone what he did. I feel bad that had to happen to him. It sucks. It doesn't mean that me saying that says, oh, I'm okay with what he did, or I'm happy he did. Not at all. We need to start here's the problem. Can you separate these two things? Can you separate him as a person of what he did over here versus what he is as a football player? And I get some people that don't. Why do you love Myles Garrett? Because he's a good person. You love Nick Chubb because of the person that he is, on top of them being great football players. You shouldn't have to separate it. I guess in this one, I will say, I don't like the man. I didn't want to see that happen to him. All right? A lot of people in this world I don't like. I'll say a lot. There's people I don't like. But you want to know what? And it's taken me a long way, Ryan. Just go your own way. Don't worry about what they're doing over there. Riz told me that so long ago, and I carry it with me to this day, specifically about doing this job, but I've applied this in life. Worry about your own little garden. Riz told me that so long ago in my career. He's told me a lot of things that have helped me in my career. That's one thing. Other shows in this town, other people, whatever. Worry about your own little garden.
What are you growing?
We just pulled our tomato plants out because the frost is coming in. So we had tomatoes, peppers. The cilantro died this year. I don't know why. My cilantro wasn't good. We'd ventured into strawberries, but they didn't go well this year. Then we always do zucchinis. My wife likes butternut squash. I hate butternut squash, but we did some of those. So zucchinis, cucumbers. Cilantro didn't do well. Peppers did fine. And the tomatoes were all right this year. That's my little garden in the back. I need to do something with it this year, though. It's falling apart. I wanted to do pumpkins, though. I missed my opportunity. I wanted to grow pumpkins for my kids. I'm going to do that next year. But anyway, I worry about my own little garden. That's it. So the same thing. You can get on Deshaun Watson. You can do all this other stuff. It solves nothing. And I'm just worried about, right here. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing here. All right? TSPN we go. What do the Browns do now? So this is the write-up following the game yesterday. What's next for the Browns after Deshaun Watson's Achilles injury? Watson went down with a right Achilles injury toward the end of the first half. Browns said Dorian Thompson-Robinson promoted the backup role over Winston. Thompson-Robinson struggled, throwing 2 interceptions, left the game because of finger injury. Winston finished out the game. Prediction for next week, Browns gave Nick Chubb 20 touches. Oh, no, the Browns will give him 20 touches against the Ravens. That's Daniel Oifusi's write-up for the Browns for next week. And we're going to do this a lot, I think, as the week goes on. But as you sit here today, Ron, let's take that step forward. All right. What happened, happened. I ain't bitching anymore about it. It is what it is. Here we are. You start Jameis Winston. There is in no mind of mine, and I like Dorian Thompson-Robinson, you are starting Jameis Winston, okay? The team needs this. They need him to kind of just steady the ship at the moment. Now, are you still careening towards the rocks? Yeah, probably. And we will crash up on the shore at the end of the year. But for right now, I need him to get up there and try to steer this mess. All right. Then, beyond that, you start to see what's going on with this offense, all right? The offensive line, I would say played better, but like, okay, you're going to have this shift here. It was great to see Chubb back. Said Tillman's alive. Good to see that. Jerry Jeudy still. Njoku. See what we got. That will help arm you for the future. Now, you and I got into a big debate about this last week about, evaluation and getting ready to go for next year, right? And I said, I can't do that. I'm not there yet. And I will tell you, I'm still not there. I'm still not just throw to Said Tillman to evaluate Said Tillman. You need to go out there and win a couple of football games on the way out here. All right? Picks be damned. Whether you get 3 or 5 or whatever it is, just take your pick and move forward. At this point, you are all but assured a top 10 pick. And to your point, which I think is right, you either just take the quarterback that falls to you or you have some ammo, you can maybe go up and get somebody else. But there's also a lot of other good non-quarterbacks in this draft that should go. That helps you out a little bit.
To that point, and I've said it before, I don't know if I'm I understand how dire the Browns need a quarterback and the situation of it. So
it's one of our rules on the show, Ryan.
But
you don't have a quarterback, you're just pissing into the wind.
Travis Hunter would look kind of sick in a Browns uniform.
But tell me Mason Graham wouldn't look good on that D-line. Trust me. I get it. By the way, I saw a mock that had Mason Graham in the middle of the first round. What the hell was that? But anyway, listen, I am taking a quarterback because I need a quarterback. And I think even there are years that you sit there and say, this crop isn't all that good, then fine. You can here's my thing on the quarterbacks. People get so wrapped up that it's this guy or it's not that guy. And what I continue to tell you is there's a parallel universe that Patrick Mahomes sucks ass. There's a parallel universe that Josh Rosen is an MVP in the NFL. There are some guys that just don't have the skills, but it has a lot to where you go and who you're with and how things work out. So just because you might look at this draft and say that these quarterbacks aren't going to be it, you might still be able to find a guy. So I think you got to take one. And yeah, that might be cutting off, your nose spite your face. If you don't take this guy, you pass up on this receiver, you do this or whatever. I'm still all in taking quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback, you keep taking one until you find one. That's what I think the Browns need to do. But for this situation right now, you got to start Winston. You try to win a couple of games and try to keep it together. But at the end of the day, you will figure out a little bit more on this offense. You will find a little bit more on if you have this guy or that guy, or even, dare I say, if Kevin Stefanski's offense works, right? We will get the answer to the question, Ryan. Does his offense work and Deshaun just wasn't running it well? Or was the offense truly broken and nobody could run this? Well, I'll get a little sense of that, a little sense of it when they get in to take on when Jameis Winston comes in. Aiden O'Connell out 4 to 6 weeks, broken thumb. They're back to Gardner Minshew.
I saw that.
In the Raiders side of things. Wah, wah. Yeah. Do you want to bring up the Myles thing again? Do you want to play it again?
The sound?
Yeah. LeBron, Cleveland fans, and this is the last time we know. Y'all know how much we've been through the years, both good, bad, and indifferent. With that being said, booing anyone that's down on the field, injured, let alone your own players, lame as blank. To the ones who didn't, salute. It was bad. And we all know. Yeah. Somebody tweeted, I think it's okay to boo a serial sexual predator. Okay? Get it? Now, here's the thing. You know how crazy this has gone? There are people now just turning on LeBron for this. So we've turned on Myles. We've turned on LeBron. We're turning on one another. Maybe we just need that in the season. I don't know. Maybe that's how we ought to do it. We'll see how it goes. All right. Do you want to just do the there's a Brian Sipe stat out there. Jordan Love is on pace to become the third player in the merger to lead the NFL in both passing touchdowns and interceptions per game, joining Brian Sipe in 1979 and Jim Zorn in 1977. Nice. Quite a list to be on there for them. That's how it goes. Brian Sipe won the MVP in 1980. I guess it worked out pretty well. All right, what do you want to do? You want to do time hop? You want to do the Myles sound again? We got a lot of the bets for tonight as well. All right, time hop it is. Here we go. All right, let's get to it. A little bit of time up. I'll tell you what happened this day in history on the 21st, including 3 years ago today. Do you remember the Denver Thursday night game? Case Keenum started after Baker Mayfield injured and then told Jay Glazer before the game that he has a broken bone in his arm. Browns beat Denver 17-14. Dearness Johnson ran for 146 yards and a touchdown in a career game for Dearness Johnson this day 2021. This day 2020, Odell Beckham said that COVID can't enter this body. You remember that when he's talking about, he's like, I'm so physically fit and all that other kind of stuff. And he goes, COVID can't enter this body. Well, it did. Did he not test positive at some point? I think he did.
You know my opinion on COVID.
Would you like to share it with everybody? Or?
No, that's okay.
No, that's not how we're going to do it. Do as you please. Sorry, I'm trying to get ready for the games tonight.
A lot of sensitive Sams out in the world.
I get it. It's the world we live in. Oh my God, why? It's like the Action Network, they put out all their stuff every week, and I basically had it bookmarked, and now I can't find it.
Well, we're on time hop, so.
I know, but I'm trying to get ready for.
You gotta catch the pass before you can run.
I know. Here's what I should just do.
People are waiting for time hop.
I'm sorry. What's today? 21st? Is this it? Found it.
Have you had a Christmas sale yet?
No, we actually shot it to my boy Dan. We just booked our dinner to go there in a couple of weeks. So we're going to go. So we have a tradition with our family. We go to Great Lakes for our first ones of the year. So we have dinner there in a couple of weeks.
I was talking to Jensen Lewis, and he put me on. He told me I need to go to...
he said $12.
The Kentucky Bourbon Trail. What are we talking about?
Oh, the Kentucky Bourbon Trail?
Yeah, so I'm trying to schedule something to go there. I've never been there.
Dude, first off, if you go, I have an order for you.
Do you?
I will give you cash.
I knew you would like that one.
So, the thing about the Bourbon Trail, and so Steph, my wife, her two cousins' husbands, and their father-in-law, my wife's uncle, based on my uncle, they are giant bourbon fans. The thing is, they're in a little bit of a different tax bracket than I am. So they have no problem. Dude, they go down there, and I'm not even kidding, you, at minimum, need to spend $5,000. Because, I'm not kidding.
Pause.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you're talking about them.
Yeah.
Not in general. Like, you
no,
have to spend
but I'm telling
$5,000.
you, if you're going to go down there, they're going to have E.H. Taylor, and you're at the Weller. You're going to be buying stuff that if you wanted to buy it elsewhere, it'd be 5 times the price. So you'd be stupid to not go there and buy it and stock up. You go there with however much money you want. But if you're going to go do that, I would tell you at minimum you need to take $1,000, if not $2,000. You'd be wasting your time if you didn't.
Well, you're talking about that's if you want to bring bourbon home.
Why would you not? You just want to go?
And isn't it you go there and drink?
You can, yeah. If you go do the Bourbon Trail, you're going there to load your car up with a bunch of whiskey and bourbon and bring it back
I thought
home.
it was more of just like you go to different places.
No,
drink.
you basically go to all the distilleries. You go there and you could take a tour and they'll sample you some stuff. The issue is you're standing in the gift shop and they got a bottle on the wall that's, let's just say $100. You'd be paying $700 for that bottle anywhere else. So it'd be like you'd be defeating if you just want to go, I ain't knocking it. You want to go, that's fine. But you're almost like defeating the purpose of going and not stocking up at a bunch of whiskey, not being unsavory about it. I'd tell you just to go as an investment, buy a bunch of that stuff, and then you can go sell it.
True.
like, you can't do it on a mass sale, but like there's Facebook pages all the time of whiskey trading. I got this bottle, I'll trade it for this bottle.
Sell it to you.
That's what I'm saying. If you would go, I would give you a list and probably about $1,000 cash and just tell you to load me up. But the thing is, in a way, saving money.
No, I get
That's
it.
how I tell my wife, like, honey, what happened? I haven't saving money. You'd be buying me $1,000 worth of stuff that would cost me $5. Like you would have to do it. There's a big bottle lottery opening today. It's funny you mentioned that. You know about the Ohio Liquor Bottle Lottery?
No.
So they do it like every couple of months, where they have such exclusive bottles that if they sold, like one of them, you know about Pappy? You know Pappy Van Winkle? You ever heard that? It is a very exclusive, very rare bottle of whiskey, okay? So I'm just going to Google this. And there's years, right? So there's a 15, there's a 23-year, all that other kind of stuff. So if you go to Pappy, and by the way, if you go down to the trail, all these names, you realize there's only about 4 distilleries left. Buffalo Trace owns so many of those. Like, they own Pappy now. They own Weller. Like, they have all these different ones. Forester, Old Forester, they own all. So if I was going to go buy Pappy Van Winkle off a wooden cork, one bottle of the 10-year is $1,000. Okay. The 20-year Pappy Van Winkle Family Reserve, $3,300 if I wanted to buy it online. The 23-year is $5,200.
That's absurd.
So the bottle lottery, which I might make you enter for me, because I need your driver's license. If you're in the state of Ohio, you can enter, you get pulled, you get to buy it for $300. Wow. Because that's like, it's part of the lottery. Now, I've entered the lottery for 3 years, and I've never won a damn thing. Hopefully that changes here today, but we'll find that out. How do we start talking about this? I don't even remember.
I don't know.
Oh, Jensen. And it started because I got off on the Action Network. Here we are. Let's go quick. This day, 2018, Browns fall to the Bucs 26-23 in overtime. They kicked the game winner with $1:50 to go. After the game, Hugh Jackson, I need to get more involved with the offense.
Oh, God.
With Todd Haley and crew this day, 2018. This day, 2015, it's Back to the Future Day. When Doc Brown and Marty McFly came to the future, they landed on October 21st, 2015. A little different than how they thought it was going to be, but here we are anyway. This day, 2007, ALCS Game 7. Boston beats the Indians 11-2. That was for the World Series. The Rockies were waiting for you. It didn't matter. It was either going to be us or Boston. Went to a Game 7, man, and we lost this day, 2007. Also this day, 1997, World Series Game 3. Florida gets the win 14-11. This day, 1995, World Series Game 1. Atlanta beats Cleveland 3-2. The crime dog, Fred McGriff. He combined, he hit a home run. Team combined for 5 hits, tied for the lowest in World Series history. And Kenny Lofton became the first player since 1921 to steal 2 bases in 1 inning in a World Series. This day, 1995. This day, 1879, Thomas Edison invented the incandescent light bulb. Where would we be today without it? A very happy birthday goes out to former Cleveland Brown Willis McGahee, Zach Greinke, Ricky Rubio, former Browns offensive tackle, and I think convicted felon, Greg Robinson celebrating a birthday today. Davis Mills, Kim Kardashian, Alfred Nobel, who they named the Peace Prize after, Judge Judy, Doja Cat, and the late great Miss Carrie Fisher celebrating a birthday today. Just one movie for you today. This day, 2022. This is one of the biggest cinematic pieces of garbage ever released.
Cats.
No. But like that movie, a very high, they lost a lot of money on this. This was, I think, goes down as one of the worst grossing films of all time.
Jack and Jill.
It grossed $393 million worldwide against a budget. I guess it wasn't like all, whatever. It's really bad. It's in the comic universe.
Oh, 2022.
Really famous actor, and this is the role that he just wanted to play. And they finally made the movie for him.
Morbius?
No, that's a good call. Morbius was bad, but no, it's not that. This guy just really wanted to play this role. They gave it to him, and it failed epically.
Shazam?
No, you're on the right track, though.
Black Adam?
Yep.
That's what I meant.
That's it. Black Adam is correct. That's it. There we go. All right, report on Watson before we do anything else. Okay, it's official. Watson does have a ruptured Achilles tendon off from Mary Kay Cabot. While it's unclear the nature of the surgery, Watson is considering both a conventional and a newer speed bridge procedure that can result in a faster return to action. That's the surgery that Aaron Rodgers had done last year. Of course, Rodgers tore in week 1, still wasn't ready by the end of the year. So he still won't be playing this year, but it could give him a jump on the offseason if it even matters at this point. So I guess he's more the conventional versus the speed bridge on this surgery for where it is. So I want to find this from Mary Kay. I'm assuming because Florio tweeted it, so I think it had to have been from Mary Kay. Oh, no, this was her story. Deshaun Watson's exploring the speed bridge procedure that Aaron Rodgers got last year. She talked to the surgeon that's going to do it, apparently. Dorian Thompson-Robinson awaiting MRI results on his injured middle finger. X-rays were negative. So it's like it's not a bone issue. It's a ligament type thing there for Dorian Thompson-Robinson. So we'll see how it goes. We'll get news from Stefanski later today. It's kind of just all bad. I have no idea. Oh, by the way, FanDuel Sports Network officially took over for Bally's. Are we still on with them? We're still on with them, right? Nothing will change there, right? Right? FanDuel? Get them on board with us.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be nice. We'll work on that. All right, couple things to get to. Number 1, bracket of the week. Best horror movie franchise of all time. Real easy. It's Halloween season, so Halloween's going to be in there Friday 13th. Not individual movies, the entire franchise. I'll tweet that out. We'll get our bracket set for tomorrow, and then we get on to Monday Night Football. 2 games. Do you like the 2 games?
I like Baker and Ravens.
That's going to be a great game.
This tweet's funny.
What?
He said rooting for the Yankees is like going to a casino and cheering for the house.
Yeah, that's not what you wanted to have happen there. All right, we start things off. Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield. They've done I just spill my coffee ever. They've done battle before. Here we are. It is the Ravens, 3.5-point road favorites over Bake and crew down there in Tampa. Lamar Jackson has faced an NFC team 23 times in his career. He is 22-1 straight up and 11-11 against the spread and 1 push in those games. His only loss ever is to the Giants back in 2022 to an NFC team. Todd Bowles has faced Lamar Jackson once as the head coach of the Bucs in 2022. Lamar got a 27-22 win over Tampa Bay. In 89 career starts where he's faced a coach for the first time, he is 36-7 straight up. When he's faced that coach for a second time, 27-19 straight up and 25-20-1. What that tells you is when they get a little book on him, maybe there's something to be said there. Over the past 4 seasons, Lamar Jackson is 7-1 against the spread as a dog, but he's only 18-21-1 against the spread as a favorite, including only 7-18-1 when he's favored by more than 3 points. He's 3.5 here. I want to find if he's on the road. I'd love to know him as a road dog here. Road favorite, excuse me. But that's kind of where it is right now. Baker Mayfield at home has had 12 starts at home for the Bucs. He's 8-4 in those games, but the under really is the play. Under is hit by an average of almost 4 points there for him at home with an over-under of this game at 50. 50? Huh. Kind of like the under in that game as well. Let's see what we have here. All right, there's parlay they like. They like over an alternate 48.5, over Baker 1.5 touchdown passes, and Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown. I kind of like that as well. Baltimore 4-1 straight up in their last 5. They're on a 5-game win streak against Tampa. They're 7-1 straight up their last 8 games on the road. They are 5-1 straight up in their last 6 games down in Tampa Bay. Flip it over for the Bucs, 9-4 against the spread their last 13 games. They are 6-2 straight up in their last 8 games at home. As I mentioned, they've struggled at home against Baltimore. Historically, it is 3.5. Ryan, please.
Yeah, I just said the other day to you that I think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm still gonna take the Bucks here.
I like the Bucks too. You're struggling.
If you can stop Derrick Henry, you have a chance.
Yeah, I think they'll do. I do think there's an element of a shootout type of game here, and I think they got an offense down there to get it going with Baker and crew.
Would you like to see Baker win a Super Bowl?
It won't bother me anymore. I mean, again,
no, I'm actually kind of rooting.
Well, at that point, I get to run around and parade myself because I said years ago the Browns could win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield, and I'll put that on my back, and I'll get a speaker to play it because it was audio, and I'll just do a lap around town. Sure, I could do that at that point. So, yeah, go ahead, Bake. Do what you want to do. That's just fine with me. All right, Chargers taking on the Cardinals tonight, 8:45 out there in Arizona.
Can we talk about for a second how this
please.
is an ESPN Plus exclusive? How gross is that?
Yeah, but do you really want to watch this game, though?
No, I don't, but it's the principle.
I know. I'm mad because I don't get the split screen now, like on YouTube TV. I am all jazzed up on YouTube TV. I love this split screen stuff that I can watch two things at once, but I can't. So that's going to be my only negative. Do you really want to watch it unless you have fantasy implications? Probably not. No. Chargers are a 2.5-point road favorite down there taking on Arizona. Justin Herbert in his career is only 35-31-2 against the spread. Talking about specific time zones here and Pacific time zones, he is 19-22-2 when playing there. Night road games in the regular season, Justin Herbert is 6-1 against the spread, becoming the third most profitable quarterback since 2003, only behind Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck on road night game covers for one Justin Herbert. In his NFL career on Monday Night Football, he is 6-0. Covering Jim Harbaugh, not Justin Herbert. Jim Harbaugh on Monday Night Football, all with the 49ers, 6-0 and 5-1 against the spread on Monday Night Football, so he knows what he's doing there. You flip it over for the Cardinals. Kyler Murray road unders have been profitable, and especially now back at home. The over is the play. He's 22-15 to the over at home in his career. As far as this game individually goes, I've got this dropped to 1.5. Do you want it at 1.5?
Yeah.
1.5 Chargers. 1.5 for the Chargers. 3-2 for the Chargers. 2-4 there for the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison probably going to play. They've got it as part of the write-up here. Chargers 4-2 against the spread their last 6 games against Arizona. 5-1 straight up in their last 6. 5-1 against the spread their last 6 games when they're in Arizona. For the Cardinals, 1-5 straight up in their last 6 games at home. They kind of suck. 1.5 for the Chargers. Ryan,
you go first.
My gut said Arizona.
Okay, I'll go Chargers.
Okay. My gut. I don't trust the Chargers. Am I wrong for that?
No.
I don't trust them to. J.K. Dobbins is running the ball really well. You're telling me not to pick it because you like taking LA here.
You can pick whatever.
No.
I'm just going opposite of what your gut told you.
I'll stick with my gut. I'll ride Arizona on that one. We'll see how it goes. All right, today will be an interesting day with Stefanski. We'll get more news as we roll on. We'll talk to you tomorrow on a 2 for Tuesday. We'll send out our bracket. We'll get you rolling on that. Talk to you then. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana, and as always, take it easy.